Good evening. Hello. Welcome
What's
to
going
the
on?
FOOTNOW
Wagwan.
YouTube channel.
Welcome.
Here we are. First video on FOOTNOW. Very excited to have you guys here. We are here with Mr. Oz from the Clique45 YouTube channel.
Yeah.
The Mr. Browne from the Eat, Drink and Talk Football Podcast. Delvin, are you associated to any podcasts?
Probably to just like the Mr. Browne's podcast, if anything.
Delvin from the Eat, Drink and Talk Football Podcast. Sounds good, guys. Well, guys, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Oz, on very short notice. Delvin, again, on short notice as well. Anyone from FOOTNOW that has seen me on the Eat, Drink and Talk Football Podcast or Armchair Gaffers knows that me and Mr. Browne, we've had our fair share of back and forths. But today we've got a very, very interesting episode.
Definitely.
So, Mr. Browne asked us to all collate our team of the years for the season 2023. This isn't a 2023-24 team of the year or a 2022-23 team of the year. It's the calendar year of 2023. So that's what we have done here. Before I get started, I want to, guys, introduce yourself. What team you support, and maybe just a little fun fact about yourselves.
I'll start off.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I'm Oz. I'm from the Clique45 YouTube channel, as well as probably going to be quite a bit on FOOTNOW as well here and there. I don't really. I just as a disclaimer, I don't say the team I support. I go by undisclosed. I say undisclosed all the time because I feel like whatever I say, if they know the team I support, people are going to be like, "Oh, you only say that because of this, and that." So I just say undisclosed. To be fair. So I keep it quiet. So if they want to know,
Man City or someone, innit?
Nah, not at all.
Is it a Prem team? Can you give us a clue?
Yeah, Prem team. Yeah. I got a Prem team. I got a Turkish team because Turkey as well. So I support Galatasaray. So that's a little fun fact I would say about myself.
Delvin, you're the next.
Delvin. I'm probably more associated to Mr. Browne and his Eat and Drink podcast. I live in from London, but I live in Manchester. One of the reasons why, because I fucking support United, for fuck's sake. For all my pain, for all the good things I do, the charity work I'm doing, I support United, and this is what I get paid back with.
We should be doing charity to you.
Yeah. I think I was Hitler in the last life or something.
And Mr. Browne.
Mr. Browne. I support Spurs. Clearly. Now you guys know me. Eat, Drink and Talk Football Podcast. The realest gooner in the building.
The most loyal gooner, I would say. I love it.
I try to
the
be.
Eat, Drink and Talk football podcast, football channel is slowly turning into the Eat, Drink and Talk Arsenal football channel.
It is what it is. You hate it, I love it. I'm like Marmite, but yeah, man, we're here. I'm happy to be here, man. So yeah, appreciate you inviting me on, bro. It's nice to see you finally up and running, man. It's about time.
There we go, man. There we go.
So, trying to catch you on. You're like a little local celebrity nowadays, DJ. I want to see you. I'll see you on Armchair Gaffers. Then you're here, you're there, you're everywhere, bro. So, man, big up yourself, man. You're doing really well, man.
As the people will know, I just like talking about football, to be honest. So if anyone gives me a mic and says talk about football, I will talk about football. But speaking about talking about football, team of the year, guys.
Yeah,
I will say, slightly disappointed from what I saw from the three of you. Slightly disappointed. Obviously, Delvin, this is the first time.
Villa. He said my problem was Villa, so I'm already I don't care what he's saying now.
Oh,
he said no Villa.
Instantly. As soon as I saw Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher's team of the years, I was like, "What on earth is going on?" But that's all right. That's all right. I guess we'll start with,
if that's all right.
Yeah.
How easy is it to do a team of the year, especially when it's like half of the end of the season and then half of the beginning of the season? Because I didn't take into consideration of like new signings this season. I found it difficult to do that because I was like, it's only been a couple months. So I don't know. I just felt like it's one of them ones.
I mean,
I
yeah,
basically done this from this season, to be fair, more than anything else. If I'm honest with you, I'll be real with you.
Oh, okay.
I hear that. I tried to kind of fit both seasons in, but obviously, like as we all know, there's so many games in a given in a given week, let alone a season. So I found it hard to kind of trace back my memory to like January, February, March, and who was playing good there. So obviously, there probably is a bit of recency bias in mine, but I've more gone for the kind of overall consistency over the year. Because I feel like players have had kind of hot flashes over the year, but I didn't really want to buy into recency bias or anything like that. But hey, I say we start with we might as well start with you, Oz.
Yeah.
So
where do you want me to start with?
I'd say let's start. Yeah, go for it.
All right, cool. I'll just go straight with goalkeeper. I think easily probably the best goalkeeper in the world, let alone the Premier League, Alisson. I think he's just been brilliant for Liverpool throughout this sort of resurgence, getting into this title battle. So I think there's no other real choice for me other than Alisson. The centre-back partnership, I went with Saliba and Gabriel because I'm not going to lie to you. If it weren't for them last season, Arsenal probably wouldn't even be in a title challenge. So Arsenal could count themselves lucky that they've got two very good young, like brilliant top centre backs. I would say Trent, I would say, has had a resurgence after the World Cup, slotted into midfield. Klopp has done really well playing him in that inverted area. I think it suits him a lot more, and I think a lot of people were calling for that, and it just makes sense, to be honest. Left back, I feel left back was a difficult place to look for because I was like, is there been any out and out outstanding left backs? There is a left back in someone else's team. I won't say who it is, but he was in my thought process as well. But I went with Pervis Estupiñán because I just think he is just so consistent, so top with his attacking as well as his defending. I don't really see any issues in terms of how perfect he is as a left back. He's so consistent, and I just think he's such a joy to watch for Brighton. And he's basically one of the cult heroes of Brighton, I would say.
Can I go back to your left centre back?
Yeah, go on, Gabriel. Yeah, go on. I know no Virgil really. I know, but go on.
I'm going to ask this.
Go on.
Is Gabriel good?
Yes. He is.
Boy, I've had this discussion with Mr. Browne many a times.
Do you know what Gabriel brings to that centre back role? I feel like if you have him in your team, you love him, and if he's not someone in your team, you hate him because of how consistently of a shithouse he is. I will say that he is a shithouse centre back, and if you have him in your team, you love him. And I feel like he's one of them ones. If he had to hold the line with Rob Holding last season when Saliba got injured, he really had to. He had to put the extra shift in. When you play Rob Holding next to you, you've got to do a couple extra, defensive work than what you were expecting. And you've got Zinchenko next to you, who's a bit of a clown, I would say. So you have to do some sort of defensive. What's the word I'm looking for? Defensive efforts for him as well. So you've got you had Rob Holding last season as well as Zinchenko you had to cover for, and I feel like Gabriel, he's impressed me, I would say.
My problem with Gabriel is that, mate, I'm going to be biased here. When I watch him play, I think this guy can he can make a mistake at any minute. At any minute.
I don't think he's any errors leading to goals this season, if I'm not wrong. I can't think of any outstanding errors he's made this season. As I would say last season, when it comes to January to about May, I would say when he has he put a foot wrong? No, not at all. I don't think so.
Okay, so would you say he's better than someone like Virgil van Dijk?
No, I'm not going to say he is better than him because the peak of where Virgil van Dijk has taken defending in the Premier League for that 3 seasons he had before his injury, it is one of the best. Is Gabriel ceiling going to be that high? I don't know, but is he a good centre back? Yes, he is.
As a partnership, it's very hard to disagree with that partnership.
Yeah, it's a partnership. You can't disagree with a partnership. It's like a modern day sort of He's like a modern day Village, but with a bit more to his game rather than kick out.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay.
obviously that's the B side to Saliba as well. Like Saliba is obviously level, so he doesn't,
Oh, yeah.
compared to Saliba, he doesn't look that great. But he does. I agree with Osman. To be fair, I think you're spot on with that. I think as a partnership, they were very good last year, and he did have to pick up slack when obviously Saliba got injured. So I think he's spot on with that.
Yeah.
One thing I will give to Arsenal is that this season the defense has been scary. Not just good, but I mean the defense has been actually scary. There has been, I remember last season when Man City were kind of kicking on and they were coming into it, and I started to think to myself, I was like, you know what? Can anyone score more than one goal against this team? And with Arsenal, I think maybe the only place where you're lacking is when it comes to the bigger teams. That question is a bit more broad. But when it comes to 16 out of the 20 Premier League teams, I don't see them scoring more than one goal against Arsenal. That's why I was so shocked. And that's why I was giving it to Mr. Browne when with the Luton game. Because I was like, how have you conceded 3 goals to Luton? But when I look at Arsenal play against other teams, I really do think to myself, I'm like, I don't really see the other team scoring a lot of goals. Even Liverpool in the FA Cup. Was that a Gabriel and Saliba partnership in the FA Cup?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I know Nunes had a couple chances, and I know eventually the goal came from a free kick, which was an own goal anyway. And Kivior is a bit of a liability for Arsenal. Let's be real.
Yep.
And then you guys, and then the other goal was a 95th minute counter attack where players probably aren't going to track back as much because it's the 95th minute. So I will give that to you. I'll say Gabriel is good, but I just don't think he's quite in team of the year level yet. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Carry on.
When you told me to do this as well, my head was fried. I was on my way back home and I was just trying to think quickly, and I just thought, okay, I've done this now. I need to back it. I need to say it with chest what I'm saying.
It's a decent team, to be fair. I'll give you that.
Yeah, exactly. Where was I? The midfield 3, I think, was my next bit.
Yeah.
So Rodri, I think this season, the 3 games he missed, I think it was. I think that's enough of a statement as to how important Rodri is to a Manchester City side. And I feel like if it weren't for him, he's like the lock that keeps everything stable. So he keeps that ship running, I feel, in the midfield. And I would say he's definitely probably one of the most important players for Manchester City. He's up there clearly, very very highly in my eyes, definitely. Odegaard, I'll move on to Odegaard actually. I just feel like, again, with Arsenal, the way they relied on him when it matters, he's just been, again, class. He's been very good. His progressive passes, the holes he picks up in between the defense, I just think is really good. And if it weren't for him and another guy I'll get onto later on in the attack, I feel like Arsenal could be would be a very struggling side if it weren't for him. De Bruyne, I just feel like I had to go with De Bruyne because the assist he broke not the assist, the record he broke, but he basically matched Henry's, if I'm not wrong, with 20 assists last season. So I just feel like playmaker, he's just fantastic in my eyes. So and you know what, one of the best midfielders in the Premier League era, 100%. He's up there. I think he's better than Lampard. I would put him on the pedestal.
Game than Lampard.
Yeah, 100%. I'd put him on that pedestal of like maybe being a top 3 candidate easily. And then the front 3, I think Haaland, who's the top scorer this season, who's the top scorer last season. I think that just answers my question as to why he is the striker. I know he's been injured this season a little bit, but when he broke that goal scoring record, it's, like the man's machine. He's just uncomparable when it comes to how great he is in front of goal. So I felt like Haaland was such an easy shout for me. I could hear what other people have done with, going with Solankis or Watkins or whatever, but I just feel like they're more shouts rather than certainty into this team of the year. And then Salah and Saka, I think, again, they're so crucial to the way their team plays. And Salah's changed his game a little bit this season with his creativity as well. So I feel like he's improved himself, even though, you know, he's getting towards 30 or he is 30. So I feel like he's adapted himself perfectly. And I would say Saka last season, he's just been fantastic. And if it weren't for him being such a consistent player last season, Arsenal wouldn't have been as close to the title as they would have, as other people would have thought at the beginning of the season.
Okay. I do want to take it back to Odegaard.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, with Gabriel, I think I was playing devil's advocate, but I'm serious about Odegaard.
What,
I don't-
red flags?
Ego's missing.
I don't think Odegaard is that good.
He's
I think
he's
For 30
good,
million,
but he just needs to get that mentality. When the big games come along, he's just like, where is he?
yeah.
Can't
But
deny
very
how bad he is.
Mr. Ozil, like, man.
In his mentality, he needs to like I'm going to get the ball, but he doesn't do it. He just like sits and watch the game. He basically he's a bystander when it comes to the game.
Yeah, complete
I feel
bystander.
like, yeah, I was going to say, sorry. I was going to say, like, I feel like that's maybe just something he still needs to adapt to, you know? He's someone that was coming from a Real Madrid, like, he was struggling at Real Madrid, and he's with these big names. He's in the dressing room amongst them all. And I just feel like he needs to realize that he is now that guy for Arsenal. He is that person for Arsenal. He is their number 10. He's their linchpin, really. He's their starlet. And I feel like the quicker he is realizing that, and I feel like if he starts getting that a bit of I'll say arrogance, if he gets that arrogance and sort of like, pass me the ball, I'll do something for us, I feel like he will unlock another level for himself, definitely.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I can understand the shout.
My thing with Odegaard is last season I was like, okay, this guy's very, very good at creating chances. He's very good. There's a zone in football, zone 14, which is just on the edge of the box, which basically 75% of goals have to go through zone 14. And when it came to Odegaard, I thought to myself, do you know what? He is very, very good at getting in positions, not just to shoot, but to also create chances for his teammates.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with Arsenal last season is when he was creating those chances for his teammates, they were scoring.
Yeah.
And that kind of tells you that, he needs to pass the ball more. However, this season, he isn't. He is still creating those chances for his teammates, but he isn't realizing that sometimes he needs to shoot. Yeah. And my biggest problem with Odegaard is he's toothless. I think that's what I think that's what he is as a player. I think he's very toothless.
Yeah, he doesn't dictate the game. He needs to like start dictating the game, the pace of the game sometimes. Even if he's not fucking getting the ball, like passing it about, he needs to like just get more stuck in and just take it by the scruff of the neck and start dictating things.
Yeah. That's what I mean by the arrogance. I think he needs that arrogance to be like, give me the ball, I'll do something for us as a team. I mean, I just feel I would agree with that personally.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I wouldn't have put him in my team of the year. He probably wouldn't have even got on my bench.
Oh, it was him. For me, it was him or Gundo. I'm not going to lie to you.
Ooh,
but
Gundo's a very good shout. Good shout.
I went with Odegaard.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I did say one thing. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I've got obviously put my 2 pence in on Odegaard as our captain.
Of course, yeah.
I don't think he's a great captain. I don't think he should be our captain. He's a good player, but he's not great. And I agree with everything that you guys have said, to be fair. I think he is a bit toothless. He goes missing in big games. On his day, though, he can be world class. And I think I mentioned it. Like I mentioned it earlier on. He's very Mr. Ozil-like. He's like, he can see things that some players can't see. He can play. He can create something out of nothing. But he just doesn't do it consistently enough.
But even in his bad games, Ozil still created this. Ozil was still in the game, even in his bad games.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So yeah,
I think Odegaard plays at a very, very high level, but I think the difference between a really, really good player and a world-class player is clinicality and can you
consistency.
Yeah, can you repeatedly put teams away? Is anyone scared of you? When Odegaard gets a ball now, I'm like, yeah, give it to him. Because he's just going to pass it off, and he might do like a 1-2 step over here and there, but I don't have the confidence from a neutral standpoint that when I'm watching Martin Odegaard that he's really going to be able to put a team away.
It's not like when you like De Bruyne gets the ball, you think, oh, for fuck's sake, especially
literally about to say that.
Yeah, I feel like Sorry, I was going to say I feel like he's the old traditional number 10 style of playmaker. You know, there is a new upbringing breed of number 10s that are very hardworking, busy. I just feel like he takes it back old school with the traditional number 10 with that playmaking style. So maybe that's why we don't really feel he is a game changer in terms of goal scoring. But when it comes to playmaking, I feel like he deserves that shout.
Yeah,
he deserves that shout 100%. One of the best in the Premier League for playmaking, I would say, and the eye for the ball, like Mr. Browne said. Not gonna lie,
you can say that about Bruno Fernandes, and I hate him.
I don't get that though. I don't get the issue with Bruno, but that's a different conversation, maybe. But yeah, I don't know.
He creates a lot of chances, but I don't know. Just something about him just makes me want to kick him.
Well, he's your captain.
Yeah, he's got one of those faces want to chop him in his throat, man.
Yeah.
I think the issue
last night when he went down for that penalty, I was thinking, why bother going down?
Mm.
He knew there's no VAR. That's probably why I get away with it, little bitch. Sorry.
Moving on. Because this could turn into a Bruno Fernandes 2024 so easily. I'll do my team of the season. Easily the best team of the season. In goal, I have gone for the best goalkeeper in the world. Not just my opinion. That is factually correct because he was given the award of the best goalkeeper in the world. Obviously, just I can understand that a lot of fans won't watch Aston Villa a lot unless they're on TV or the Sunday afternoon game because we play Europa League, so we play a lot of Sunday games, or if we're playing against your team. But
I like watching Villa. I just like watching Leon Bailey, Jamaica.
Oh man, big up Leon Bailey. But Martinez, when Aston Villa are not playing well and we grind out results, like for example the way that we grinded out a result away to Brentford, like for example how we were able to get a draw at Bournemouth. Emi Martinez keeps us in the game a lot of the time. And when you talk about goalkeepers that are shot stoppers, he is that. We all know the Kolo Muani save in the World Cup. That is, Emi Martinez does that for us so much. It's ridiculous. So he had to go into my team. I think Alisson, with me, Alisson is inevitable. Alisson is very, 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 very good. Like I watch Alisson play sometimes, and I'm like, when you're playing five-a-side and you're one-on-one with a keeper, and you're just like, I'm not going to score because this keeper is just too good, and you just you're hoping that another player is coming up beside you to pass the ball off. But when it comes to Martinez, he is inevitable. I think he had a better season than Alisson over a better year, 2023. But when it comes to actual goalkeeping, I'd probably give it to Alisson. Two centre backs, Van Dijk and Saliba. I hate Saliba. I hate.
Why?
He is so good.
You said that with
chest. He's so good, and he plays for Arsenal. Do you know how angry that makes me? That Arsenal have got such a good centre back. The last time that Arsenal had a centre back at that level was what? Sol Campbell. Arsenal haven't had a centre back this good for 20 years.
They haven't had a good centre back for years. Like you're talking about going back about sort of like Tony Adams and Keogh and the sort of them.
You know what I mean?
Facts, absolute facts.
Like when it comes to William Saliba, man, when it comes to William Saliba, I watch, like, there's been times I've been watching Arsenal play and the team has gone through on goal, and I just see Saliba back there, and I go, "What's the point?" I just go, "What's what is the point of you guys attacking?" Even against in the Liverpool game, he'll even win challenges that he's just not supposed to win, and I think that's the mark of a great defender is when he can be one-on-one.
IQ.
Yeah, IQ. He can be one-on-one 10 times in a game. I back him every single time out of 10. To get that ball, and that's why I hate him so much because he wears red and he plays in North London.
His recovery run is so good.
I don't understand why he's like fourth choice centre back for France.
Yeah,
to be fair, they've got France have just got a stupid selection of centre backs. To be honest, like a silly selection.
I put him above Upakana and Kanate. I'm not too sure. He's probably the same sort of level, but
yeah, I'd say he probably just
still.
picked Kanate because he's a lot more available. We've probably got a lot more to watch. I think his defensive record is slightly better than Kanate's as well, but obviously that's just down to the way that Liverpool play. Trent right back. I really wanted to go with Pedro Porro because Pedro Porro is he's a type of right back that I think we kind of miss in today's game. He's almost like he's a right-footed Andy Robertson, but with stupid technical ability. He's just 100% all miles per hour. But Trent is. Do you know the issue with Trent? Right, everyone slates Trent because he can't defend. And I think Trent is a victim of his own success because we all know how good he is. You don't watch Trent Alexander-Arnold and think this isn't a good player. You watch Trent Alexander-Arnold and you think this guy probably shouldn't be playing right back. He could easily go centre mid. That's just how good he is.
All right wing.
All right. He could play right wing. Imagine Trent left wing. I think he'd get 10 goals, 10 assists a season. But I used to be one of those people that was like Reece James over Trent. And I know Reece James hasn't played that much, but I'm at a point now where I'm like, Reece James is probably a better overall football player when you take in like kind of all the things that
athletically.
But when you look at just pure footballer, like what could he like? I reckon Trent Alexander-Arnold could do 50 kick-ups with a P easily.
Did you see that video yesterday where he hit the crossbar for the England training?
Nah.
From about a good 50 yards out. Not even, it wasn't, he drove it. He didn't even like clip it. He drove the ball.
I mean, I think that's probably his best trait is his ball striking ability. When it comes to free kicks, I remember that goal he scored against Leicester last season. Put a dagger in their kind of, in their relegation hopes. But yeah, I've gone for Trent right back. Left back, I've gone for a player that has just been impressing me for at least a good year now. Anthony Robinson.
Very consistent player.
So painfully consistent, Anthony Robinson. Yeah. So painfully consistent. He's fast. He's fast. He's quick. Two different things because you can be fast or you can be quick. He's fast. He's quick. His level of sharpness. I don't think we talk about sharpness a lot in football. Like how well do they react to different types of situations? His sharpness is off the charts, and he's strong as well. He's probably not the most technically gifted out there, but one thing that I will give to Anthony Robinson is he knows how to cross it. He does what he does need to do for the team. And if I was Manchester United, if I was Liverpool, and especially if I was Arsenal, I would be bidding for Anthony Robinson.
Can I ask a question then? If you say that,
go on.
Is he better than Tierney? Like Mr. Browne could answer that. Actually, Mr. Browne could answer that. Is he better than Tierney?
The answer is no.
Okay.
Why?
Tierney, when fit, is a bit injury prone, and he's probably, since he's had his injuries, he's kind of fallen off a little bit. But on his day, Tierney is a proper baller, mate. He's a proper defender, and he's got it all. He's got all the right attributes to be, to be the best left back. But he just doesn't fit in Arsenal's system right now. He doesn't fit in Arsenal's system. He's very injury prone. But like I said, on his day, I think Tierney's class. When he first joined Arsenal, he barely put a foot wrong.
He was your captain, wasn't he?
Think back to some of the left backs we've had, Monreal, and who I don't know, I can't remember who we had before that. But he's level. Tierney's definitely levels. But like I said, injuries have hurt him.
I think if Anthony Robinson goes to a Big Six team, people will start talking about him as the best left back in the league, easily. I think so, and I'll stand on that. But carrying on, CDM. I've gone Declan Rice. This is why I love Declan Rice. He overcomes my hatred of Arsenal. I just want him to do well. Where like whatever he does, even when he's playing for Arsenal and he does something good, I go on Declan. When he gave away the free kick, the penalty against West Ham, part of me was like, lol. But other than that, I think speed, quickness, strength, ball playing ability, resisting the press, passing, beating a man. I don't think there's anything that Declan Rice can't do, and it's a shame that Rodri is at City, because if City didn't have Rodri, they would have bought Declan Rice, and imagine how stupid Declan Rice would be in Pep Guardiola's system. I think he gets into every team in the world other than Man City, but only because of the fact that Rodri, and it's getting closer. It's getting closer.
What about Madrid?
Yeah. Who's like Kroos and Modric, great players, but you know, like they're late 30s. He'll get in over Kroos and Modric.
Over Camavinga.
Camavinga, he's still growing. I think Declan Rice is probably a league above Camavinga at the moment. I mean, Camavinga didn't even play CDM in his own team last season. Carlo Ancelotti didn't trust him. And yeah, I don't think there's any. Maybe the only team who doesn't get CDM is Aston Villa. I mean, Boubacar Kamara is a bit of a good player. That's a joke. But yeah, Declan Rice CDM, and then my left centre mids, Douglas Luiz. Yeah, I feel like I've spoken about Douglas Luiz more on other channels. For the FOOTNOW channel, I'll just say that Douglas Luiz is a top 5 centre mid in the world, not just the league anymore, in the world. Goals there, assists there, ball playing ability there, deceptively very, very strong. And when he first joined Aston Villa from Man City, I think it was 2020, and with Dean Smith and Steven Gerrard, they were insistent on playing him CDM as a lone pivot. And what I think it's done to him, even though he didn't play as good as we thought, Aston Villa fans kept saying, push him up into the 8, push him up into the 8. We need to see how creative he can be when he's not kind of locked into this number 6. Now that Boubacar Kamara has come in and he can be a bit more free in that midfield, we've seen the amount of goals he can score. We've seen the amount of assists that he can make. I think Douglas Luiz is. Thank God that we bought him from Man City, because they would have just bought him back off of us by now. And they actually had a buyback option in the contracts.
They've got a buyback option for most of their players, haven't they?
Yeah.
They could have got Lavia back for about, what was it, like 20 million?
Yeah, but they opted not to do it. Same with Douglas Luiz, but they could only buy him back in the season after. They bought him off of us, and thankfully he didn't have a great season. We all saw the potential, but he didn't have a great season. Right centre mids or right attacking mids, playing at number 8, number 10. Sorry, Kevin De Bruyne. We don't need to say anything about Kevin De Bruyne. Right wing, Mohamed Salah. I think I'm one of the people that disrespect Salah slightly, because as great as I think he is, I've never kind of put him in that Henry, Rooney, Ronaldo league, and I think I don't know how you guys feel, but I think he's there now.
He is there. Yeah, 100%.
We all agree on that Salah is one of the best. Okay, great. I thought there might be a discussion there. Left wing, got Julian Alvarez. I wanted to go Saka. I wanted to go Son. I was even thinking about Bowen, but when you talk about consistency, Julian Alvarez is it. I know this is the Premier League team of the season, team of the year, but something needs to be said about his Champions League kind of contributions as well. I think Julian Alvarez, I think he's gotten too good too quickly. I think now we're probably not going to see as much ascension from where he is at now to where, the next level that he is at. So people will start saying, he's fallen off, he's a bit of a flop. Kind of what we saw with Foden, where Foden kind of ascended so quickly and then kind of began to stagnate. But I've got Julian Alvarez.
He's come back again, hasn't he, really, Foden? He's always been a central midfielder, and they've stuck him on the wing. And now since he's playing centre mid,
Yeah. I've now that he's kind of dropped in, I feel like a lot of us said that Foden could play that number 8 role, but Pep probably didn't think he had the stature to play there, because let's be real,
you got De Bruyne and you had Gundogan.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And they still got Bernardo Silva there as well. But then up front, I have gone for what I think is the best out-and-out striker in the league, Ollie Watkins. Not much to be said there. after Haaland, most goals, and then he's also got the most assists in the Premier League this season as well. I think he might be behind one person, but most assists in the Premier League as well.
Does he go to the World Cup? I mean, to the Euros. To the Euros.
Yeah, he has to go to the Euros.
He has to. Because when you're in a game and you're up against
different.
When you're up against Spain and you're 2-1 down in the 75th minute, he is the perfect striker to bring on. And you just put him up with Kane. Yeah. You say to Kane, you go, right, you can do all your dropping in the middle bollocks, whatever you like to do. And you just say to Watkins, you go, just be an outlet. And as a pure outlet, insane. But now he's added that extra bit where he can finish now as well. And yeah, as Christopher says, Watkins. That's all we need to say. But yeah, that's my team. We'll move on to Mr. Browne next.
I was thinking, do you want to get into some of the comments before we move on to mine?
Yeah. Let's do it. So we've got from PSDN7, no Villa players and anyone on Sky's team of the year or FIFA's. Yeah, pretty much. But I like it.
I haven't seen their team of the year. Sorry. I don't know like how bad it is. Is it really that bad?
There's just no Villa players in there.
I'm not really seeing any of it.
No, I think there's just no Villa players in there. I think Jamie Carragher played like a 4-2-4. And he put like Salaris on the wings or something. But yeah, I agree with PSDN7. No Villa players in the squads. Second in the table, second most points in 2023, and not one player. Yeah, that's why I was disappointed with you guys. I think Mr. Browne, you're the only person that had a Villa player in there. Douglas.
You know what? I nearly put Douglas Luiz, but I don't know. I thought I was thinking of him more as a CDM, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I didn't really.
Yeah, and you cannot not go Rodri either, can you? So.
Yeah. Well, I went for Rice.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what it is? I went from the season, not for like the whole of the calendar year. I just went from this season.
Oh, okay.
Rodri being out for a number of games.
I think Douglas Luiz, end of last season to the start of this season, over that kind of 10-game stretch, he scored 6 home goals in a row, which for a CDM, because he does kind of play CDM because we play that kind of 4-2-2-2. For a CDM isn't
that some sort of record for you guys as well?
Yeah. Most home goals consecutively. I mean, a few of them are penalties, but you know, he was scoring
goals.
Yeah, goals a goal.
Emery's changed your trajectory easily. Like if it was Stevie G still there, Championship football was calling for Villa.
I'm not going to disagree.
Bad how some of these players bad managers.
Yeah.
It just goes to show how much coaching in like the 20. I think if it was 2003, coaches don't play as big of a part. Especially in Italy, Italian coaches, their cigarette, they just go right. You guys are good. Like, go play. But yeah, it shows tactically. Christopher Alatiche says Haaland really
inevitable, mate. Inevitable. That's all I got to say. He's inevitable.
You can't like. I didn't put Haaland in my team, but
I didn't put him because of the season.
Yeah, deep down, I know.
Well, if you look at last season, it's inevitable. I feel like he broke the record. I feel like what more can you ask from a striker? That's what you want your striker to do. What's the point in like trying to argue about, you know, this whole playing how well he plays within the team? You play your own system. If your system is having a fox in a box, then just do it. Like, I feel like it. Like, I feel like Haaland he gets criticized so much by people just because he is that traditional set striker. Just because he's not that Firmino type. Just let him be. Let him score him goals. Let him break records. Like that's what we want from a striker. If he was in your team, we're gonna love him.
Yeah. That's true. I think everyone likes a Harry Kane because Harry Kane does a bit of everything. But I think if you put Harry Kane in Man City, Pep's saying, "Yo, stay in the box because you're an elite finisher." Do you know what I mean? And I think Haaland, he's probably just a victim of his own success. He's so good at what he does that people go, "Well, he's not good at this. He's not good at that."
Yeah, exactly.
The craziest thing is we haven't really seen much of Haaland this season, have we?
It's good, and he's still top goal scorer.
He's the least top scorer.
My only criticism of him is like in some of the finals last season, he just wasn't appearing. Like the semi-finals when he against Madrid, he rinsed against some of the big teams, and then like in a couple of finals of some of the big games, he just lets the centre back take him over. Like the Champions League final, the FA Cup final, I don't know. And we're rubbish, so I don't know how he was able to sort of like.
Can I offer a bit of a counter towards that though?
Go on.
I think the only times when Haaland doesn't perform is when the other team does everything they can to not just get him goals, not give him touches. Because Inter Milan, they had 3 centre backs on him essentially.
Yeah,
they said to Grealish, and I can't remember who was playing on the other wing, but they said to I think it was Alvarez. They said to Grealish and Alvarez, they went, "You guys can have the ball as much as you want because we've got 2 wing backs that will track back." They only played 2 centre mids because they're like, City don't. When City are building up, they don't actually play centre mids. They kind of just, it's almost like a 3-2-5.
Yeah.
But I think when I agree with you, but then the kind of the football tactician in me is kind of like, well, if you do put 3 centre backs on a player, he probably isn't going to score that much.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it's the only way to stop him.
What about the final?
Stop him from scoring, putting 2-3 players on him.
So
the only way you stop him. The only way you stop Haaland is by putting 2-3 defenders on him. That's the only way you stop him.
Yeah.
The guy can have 5 touches all game and score a hat trick.
Yeah. That's all he needs, 4 or 5 touches in the whole game. Really.
And his movement is nuts as well. I remember when people comparing him to Nunes, and I was like, that is hilarious.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Looking at it in hindsight now.
As it says, what other striker would you put? He literally broke the record last year, and he was second in the Ballon d'Or. I think that's probably
no brainer.
Nah.
Yeah, definitely.
Aidan Williams says, "Big up Mr Browne every damn time. Wash hands." I don't know what that means.
I think that's like a clap or something. I think the emoji clap hands, whatever it is.
Do you reckon he was trying to type an emoji and he didn't?
It didn't work.
It didn't come up.
Pressed enter too fast.
So my boy from long time, man. Pick up yourself.
Ayodele Mariquinho, he says Trent a big liability at the back and only fits Liverpool. Can't see him playing for another top 6 sides if the system isn't right for him.
This is my boy from the Clique45 channel. He is the biggest critique of Trent. He every time we talk about Trent, he kisses his teeth. He just does not want anyone to talk about it. Like literally, if you go onto our YouTube channel, you will see how much like we speak about him, and he just does not. He's not on it. He's not on it. For him, Ben White's the best right back in the league. He's an Arsenal fan.
Ben White's not even a right back.
Well, exactly. That's how good he is. He can play different positions. That's what he says.
Jesus Christ. Ayodele, hope to meet you soon, but that stinks. That stinks. Trent would literally get into every team in the world.
I think his defending has come on a lot this season. He's been a lot more switched on.
It's them predators. It's them predators that you wear with me.
Don't get me wrong. He still has his flashes where you think, "Why are you not tracking your man?" But it's been a lot better than it was last season. Last season, he was just letting man take the piss out of him for fun.
That's true. Last season, I think Liverpool. Tactically, Liverpool probably weren't at the level that they've come to expect.
Definitely, yeah.
I think it was more of an arrogance at the fact that they thought they can just cruise again, and obviously teams have stepped up and we're not having it like last season or the season before.
Yeah,
they didn't replace effectively. I don't think replacing Nunes. I mean, replacing Firmino and Mane didn't. I don't think it worked.
Yeah,
as
Mane was a hard one to let go.
Yeah,
and then obviously Diaz got injured. Pretty early, didn't he? So it was just like,
yeah.
All right, let's get back to the teams. We said that we were on you, Mr. Browne.
Yeah. Go for it.
Right, cool. Yeah. Let's get up your team here. Personally, I think after me, the best team, if I do say so myself. But yeah, go for it.
I think start with goalkeeper Alisson. Probably the best keeper in the Premier League. I'm big fan of Martinez. So yeah, I think Alisson, probably the best in the world at the moment. The best 2 centre backs are Van Dijk and Saliba. Go and argue amongst yourself. Saliba, 6'4", 22 years old. He's got the world at his feet. he is scary how good he is and how good he can become. Like I said, he's only 22 years old. I still think he's got a lot of time to grow. His ceiling is, you can't even see it. He's gonna be France #1 soon. Trent again, probably the best right back after Kyle Walker, I would say.
Yeah.
There was I was thinking maybe Trippier, but he's kind of fallen off towards the end of the season, and he's not been playing that well this season.
Yeah.
But so I went for Trent. But Kyle Walker probably be on the bench, to be fair. And my left back, again, it was difficult to find a left back.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys had that as well. Like I was racking my brains. This probably I went back to it a few times. Like probably the last player I found, but went with in Dogi. I think I pronounced his name. I think with the injuries that Tottenham have at the moment, they've got a lot of injuries. The defenders aren't great, and I think he's come in and he's done really well. And I think he'll get better. My midfield three are Declan Rice. I don't think we really need to speak on Declan Rice. 105 million, still a bargain in my opinion. Great for West Ham. Won them a European title that Arsenal have yet to be done. And I know that TJ likes to remind me of that goal star that he has on his shorts. We're not going to get into that too much. Mohamed Kudus, I think, has been amazing for West Ham. Arguably one of the signings of the season.
Talk to us about Mohamed Kudus real quick.
What do you want to know?
Why does he deserve a spot in your team over someone like a De Bruyne or a Fernandes or an Odegaard?
I was more thinking when I put him in, I was thinking more not the calendar year, I was thinking more this season, if I'm completely honest with you. If I'm going on last season, it probably would have been either Odegaard or Kevin De Bruyne, to be fair.
Yeah. That's what
But I think going off this season, and I think how well he's adapted, how quickly he's adapted, and I'm not sure how much he cost, but he cost a fraction of some of the players that we've been talking about, and he come in, he does a job, and he's quite consistent with it.
So it's like 30 million or something like that.
Yeah, like change, and he's probably worth more than that now. So Mohamed Kudus, he gets in my team. I just feel like he just slotted into West Ham really well, really quickly.
It annoys me.
Yeah.
It annoys me. Like United scouts, we got the most scouts in the league. We've got something like 48 scouts, and we pick Anthony. The whole way.
You got 48. Hold on, I didn't know that.
We've got the most scouts in the whole of the Premier League.
48 scouts is crazy.
And you make those decisions in the transfer market.
And they said about him, don't pay any more than 25 million for him. Don't pay any more than 50 million than Højlund. And what do we do? Paid 90 million for him, and then paid 72 million for. It just shows you how shit the club is run.
That's the most honest and straightforward. But yeah, continue, Mr. Browne.
Douglas Luiz, I think I'm just going to echo everything the TJ said, and I kind of put him in because obviously he bagged Alicia Lehman, so I have to put that in there. Yeah.
And then he dumped her. He was like, I don't need her no more.
Yeah, but I think they're kind of back together. I think they're looking a bit close again. I don't know, man. Ooh. But yeah, he's bagged one of the hottest fucking footballers in the world right now. So
the hottest footballer. Right.
But yeah, the front three, it was difficult. It was very, very difficult. I wanted to put the Star Boy Saka in. I really, really did. But I think Salah's numbers over the last 2 seasons have been mad. I think didn't he hit like 150 goals or was it 2? I don't know if it's 150 goals or 200 goals or something this
Salah?
season.
Do you know what the bad thing is? He's not even in. He's only just in like second or third gear. He's not even in fourth gear.
Yeah, he's not at a stupid point yet.
Yeah, he's levels. I don't care. He's probably one of the best sort of African footballers there has been for a long time. And obviously, I know Mane is very good, but Salah's my guy, man. I think, yeah, it just speaks to himself. He just bags goals. He's been one of the most consistent players. I think even when he's not playing well or not on form, he still contributes to a goal or assist. Son, again, I can't believe I've got two Spurs players in there. I've just realised I've got two fucking Spurs players in there. I've got two Arsenal as well, so I don't know what I'm smoking. But yeah, Son, I think, is a very good playmaker. I think I always said that without Son, Kane's not that great. But then Kane's kind of gone to the German league and just kind of duppied it. So maybe
he's had to do less so in the German league, though, Kane.
Say that again?
He's had to do less in the German league if you think about it. Like he was doing everything for Spurs.
Yeah, I think Son can play. I think he could play as a striker as well. I feel like he's quite versatile up front. I think he'd play anywhere in the front three, and I think he'll get goals and assists. And there's not many great career. Where is he from? Japan, Korea, North Korea, South Korea. Sorry, and I don't know many South Koreans that have reached this level of football ability. So
no,
someone gets in there for me.
Question mark?
Who? Jason
Park?
For United. Yeah, but Son's better. I think Son's better.
Who Son's technically better.
Who's had a better career?
Yeah, exactly.
Success-wise, you have to say Park. Let's say Park because he's won the league. He's won the Champions League.
Yeah. Son's own dad called him a failure because he's done nothing with his career. He's been at Tottenham and doing what? His own dad thinks he's had a failure of a career. So if that's what his dad says, I'm going to back his dad. I'm not going to lie to you.
I think his dad wanted to be a chef or something.
His dad wouldn't make him stop doing keepy ups all night or something. I've read some crazy stories about his dad. His strict rules. He's not allowed to have a family until his career's over as well. Football league career. I've heard about that. He's had some. I've heard some crazy things like here, there, and everywhere about the type of dad he's got.
Yeah, but those South Koreans are just mad people. Full stop.
Yeah, they are.
Who runs the country?
But yeah, man, you can't argue with Son. I think he's. And I'm an Arsenal. I'm a gooner through and through, and I hate Spurs. But I can't argue that Son is one of the best players in the Premier League. And Erling Haaland, treble winner, Golden Boot winner, second in the Ballon d'Or. Don't think we need to say anything more. He's a nightmare for most defenders. Maybe not for Van Dijk or Saliba. But Haaland, he's like I said earlier, he can touch the ball, 4 or 5 times, get a hat trick. He's a problem. And again, he hasn't been on form this season. But again, he's still got 14 goals, still top of the, leading the Golden Boot. So Erling Haaland gets it up top for me.
And he's been missing for about how many games has he been missing for?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's missed half their games at this point, and he's still bagging in these goals.
Yeah, I don't think he's even made. I don't think he's even made 10 appearances or something this season or something like that. But yeah, it's crazy. But yeah,
Back of the Net podcast says this team. I'm guessing that he's alluding to the fact that this is a very good team, and I agree. To be honest, I think the only 2 players that you can dispute aren't world class in this team are Udogie and Kudus, and that's only because they're young and they're new to our eyes. I think every other player in this team is world class. Douglas Luiz as well, but obviously I've known he's world class for 2 years. New to the viewers' eyes, most popularly. And yeah, Back of the Net, doubling down. It's actually so sick. Perfect mix.
Big up my guy. I was on his channel a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, so big up Back of the Net podcast. Man.
Big up Back of the Net podcast. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, guys, if you're watching, keep the comments coming in. Please comment so we've got something to pop up on the screen. Comment whatever you want. just to obviously make sure that it's within YouTube's guidelines, please and thank you. I think we should go to Delvin's team. Interesting.
See, my team's gone on from what I've said, the players that I've actually seen live this season, and have actually impressed me. And I watched it when I watch, like I said, I watch a lot of games. And it's not like I'm not gone for the traditional what everyone else is. I've just gone for who's impressed me.
Okay, go for it.
So Vicario, I just think like this season, obviously it's a big step up from the last Spurs goalkeeper, as we know, and he's saved Spurs in a lot of games, I think, this season. I don't know if his distribution's decent, shot stopping's decent, and his IQ's pretty decent. Centre backs now, like you can't even argue with those two, to be fair.
No. I think all four of us, we can pretty much agree that Van Dijk and Saliba.
Apart from, I think obviously Gabriel other than Van Dijk, but yeah, again as a partnership, great. But yeah, I think Saliba and Van Dijk, best, yeah.
Left back, I went for someone that's impressed me this season, even though they've not been a great team. Well, they have been a great team, but you have to think about the level they've come from and the level they're playing in. Luton have lost a lot of I'm more than likely going to get relegated. But if Doughty doesn't get picked up once they've been relegated, it'll be a bit of a crime, I think. He's got
some viewers won't know much about Alfie Doughty. Can you give us maybe a bit of a profile of what type of player he is?
He's a traditional sort of like up and down left back. He's got a good engine, crosses well, distributions well, gets back. I'm not afraid to get stuck in. What's he got? Like something like 5 assists this season.
Possibly.
And that's not bad if you think for a left back at a team that's more or less bottom of the league.
Yeah, that's true. I did a on the FOOTNOW Instagram page. If you don't follow the FOOTNOW Instagram page at FOOTNOW UK, we did a series called One Player That Every Club Should Sign. And when I looked at Alfie Doughty, part of me was a bit like, is he a bit of a liability for Luton? But yeah, I don't know.
You have to think about the whole back line more. He's not the greatest, but he's impressed me this season as a left back. He's young. Like I said, he's got an engine. He's got a good left foot on him. I think in a better team, he'd do a lot better. Okay, fair enough. I think with more commanding centre backs and that sort of like mentoring, I think he can be a pretty decent left back. Okay, fair enough. You've convinced me. I need to watch Luton a bit more, to be honest. Yeah, I just like watching football. Like I've been to a number of games this season. Trent at right back. I wouldn't have had him last season, but I think his defending has been a bit more switched on. Like obviously going forward, you can't really argue with anything he does when he goes forward. It was more about him when teams are going up against him, basically. Declan Rice, he's had a good calendar year, full stop. Whether when he was at West Ham and now at Arsenal, he's been one of the saving graces of Arsenal when they've had their backs against the wall, like a 0-0, when it's 0-0 or they're 1 down or whatever. He's scored some vital goals. That's one thing I'll say about Declan Rice. To be fair, he is he's shown that sometimes it can take a player a slight while to be able to get into a new system, a new team. But he's slotted in perfectly, pretty much. And I think he should definitely be the Arsenal captain, if anything.
100%. 100%. Next season, Declan Rice captain all day long. Is it too soon?
No way. He's vocal. He puts himself about. He leads from the front, basically. You can't. And I think, obviously, like we were saying about Odegaard earlier, he kind of goes missing sometimes. I don't think it's not due to his lack of ability, and it's more to his lack of mentality. Where 100%. Declan Rice has that leadership mentality. Like, if shit's not going right, he's gonna go out and he's gonna go get the ball or go get and put himself about, get stuck in. Is that somewhere that Mikel Arteta has gone wrong with Arsenal? When he gave Odegaard the captaincy, I saw what he was trying to do, but I think that was more for Odegaard than it was for the team. Yeah. Mr. Browne.
he gave him the number 8 shirt, which Arteta obviously he wore as well, and obviously was captain for Arsenal. Again, he's one of the youngest captains to captain a international team as well. So I kind of get the thought process behind it, but I'm personally not convinced that he is a good captain. I think he'll make a good vice captain, maybe. But yeah, Declan Rice for me, it should be Arsenal captain.
Okay. Yeah, Delvin.
Left mid, centre mid. I've gone for a Slabazai. He's just impressed me this season. I hate fucking Liverpool. I'm a Man United fan. Scouser, bin dipper, whatever you want to call him. But he's impressed me. He's kind of slotted in pretty well, hit the ground running in terms of Premier League. And I think sometimes a lot of these people that come from the Bundesliga don't seem to actually hit the ground running. Obviously they've got the likes of Timo Werner, and then obviously you meant to have Sancho, who was meant to like fit in perfectly, but don't know what happened there. I just find like you see a lot of these Bundesliga players that don't slot in quite as quick, or don't hit the floor quite as quickly. And I think he's done pretty well. He's been a bit quiet in the last couple of games, but prior to that, some of the vital wins they've had when they've been up against it, his IQ, his talent, his agility. He pick out sort of like cutting passes as well. So that's why he's in there. And right centre midfield, that's really, really impressed me. I've seen him play when he was younger in the youth team. It was Cotton Palmer. Kid's got character, he's got charisma, he's talented. Obviously it's sort of like Pep was happy to let him go, but for playing half a season and let him go for 50 million, that's quite a big sort of shoes to fill. And he's stepped in pretty well for Chelsea, considering they've had a poor season. He's 100%. been the one sort of like glimmering hope, one glimmering like talent in the team. Like you've got the likes of Lavia and Casado and Enzo haven't really done a lot. Let's be fair, considering their price tags over 100 million.
Facts.
That's like over 350 million there in like 3 players.
Yeah, I think one thing I really like about Cole Palmer is if you saw Cole Palmer walking down the street, you'd be like, that's not a footballer. I don't know. I know a lot of people have said it, like, you know.
Bro, it looks like he works in a chip shop or something, man.
I don't know if I'd say chip shop.
I don't know, man. One of them like sporty
on the game day. Maybe
yeah. He's burger with onions, please.
One thing I just want to say one thing on Cole Palmer is that cold Palmer, is that gonna stick? Do you think that?
Yeah. He is cold as ice.
Yeah,
he's funny to watch as well. He's definitely been a character. He's a character, and I think he's
growing on me.
He's going to grow. His talent's going to grow, and he's going to grow in that. But I don't know what's up with that Chelsea team. The money they spent and the talent they've got available is just hard to watch and think and what the actual F is going on there.
Yeah,
TJ, we need to get your dad on one day, man. Let him tell us what's going on with Chelsea one day.
Just like how can you not click with that sort of talent in the team? I know sometimes it's not all about talent, but I think they've got a bit of experience in Thiago Silva. Obviously, got the young players there in the midfield like Colton Palmer, Casado, Lavia, and I just don't think what Smith. Well, obviously a striker as well, and I don't think any striker would ever fit in there. They've got a curse on strikers since Drogba's left. They've always had a curse on strikers.
Diego Costa, I think, was the only striker.
Yeah.
He was the only real striker, and I think that's what Chelsea needs. They keep buying strikers that are just a bit humble, and you need to buy a striker that is just a bit of a dickhead, to be honest. Like they need an Ivan Toney. The thing with Chelsea Football Club is that Chelsea Football Club, it attracts so much gravitas. Chelsea Football Club is such a massive and egotistical and kind of flashy and premium football club. Even like the badge on their kit is like the shiny reflective badge, the infinite athlete across the front. Do you know what I mean? Like Chelsea they want to be heard.
It's typical West London, though.
That's it. It's typical West London. Look at us. We got a bunch of money. Even though they're playing Fulham, not Chelsea. But anyway, and when you have a striker that comes into a club like that, They need to have a pair on them. They need to have a massive pair on them because we saw it with Fernando Torres. Nothing. Obviously, scored the semi-final goal. Chelsea fans that really try to kind of stretch it. They'll say, "Oh well, he earned his money back in that goal." I don't believe so. Alexander Pato, Gonzalo Higuain, Tammy Abraham did well, but Morata.
They've had a bag of strikers. They've had big name strikers that have all come and done nothing.
And they've done absolutely nothing. Broja, I think Broja, he's quite good. But I think the injury.
But Havertz in there as well. Trash striker for them.
I just don't. He's just an enigma. Havertz.
The thing about Havertz at Arsenal, at Chelsea, sorry, he was good. His output just wasn't there. He was good.
Yeah.
Like, I watched Chelsea a lot, and when he would score, they'd be bangers. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea fans would say the exact same thing to you. They'd be like, "Oh well, Havertz, he earned his money back because he won us the Champions League." Mason Mount won you the Champions League with that pass, not Havertz. But yeah, I think
not going to Mount either.
Mason Mount, as my good friend Jess likes to call him, Jason Jount. Oh man, big up Mr. Wrong and Strong. Jason Jount. Oh gosh, I am so happy. If you're a young player and you go from one rival to another unprovoked, you deserve everything. You do you know what I mean? Sol Campbell, he did well. But
I think he's the only one really. Him and Tevez,
yeah. Tevez really at Man City was a bit of a flash in the pan, wasn't he? He only had a good season and a half.
But he's always that player though, isn't he? That he gets bored. He's one of those South Americans that get bored. It's like Ronaldinho after I got bored.
Yeah. I feel like Tevez wanted to go to Arsenal just for the clubs. He just wanted to go party in Islington. But yeah, I can't remember. Chelsea strikers, not good. Chelsea strikers definitely not good.
Did Cole Palmer play that position?
He plays centre mid. Just behind us.
But no, I'm asking, do you reckon he could play? Because I saw him play in between the lines and saw that false nine role against, I do want to say City, but I might be wrong. I'm sure he's had the opportunity to play up front for Chelsea. I feel like there is an opportunity for him to, with Nicholas Jackson gone, maybe there's an opportunity for him to play up front and be that false nine. Yeah.
I feel like Chelsea fans would be a bit like, oh, here we go again. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like this is just a curse. I think once you get in that position, you just effed.
Yeah. As soon as a manager who can clearly see that you're not a striker asks you to play striker, you start, you know what I mean? That's probably part of the reason why Havertz left, why he was so happy to leave. Also the fact that his stepdad Tuchel had gone 6 months before. But yeah, carrying on with your team, we don't have long, Delvin.
I've gone for left striker. I've gone for left wing. I've gone for Maddison. I think since leaving Leicester, he was great at Leicester. Obviously, they didn't have a great season last season, got relegated. But I think since coming in Tottenham, he's been one of the didn't expect to see as much as he has done since he's come there. Assists, he's helped with goals, his link-up play. He's very skillful. His output is really good, and I think obviously they're not missing Kane as much as I thought they would be once he got there.
Yeah, I think Maddison. I was quite shocked at how quickly he became kind of Tottenham's go-to guy. And I think do you know what? When they both retire, I think this conversation will come back up. But for a while, it's been Maddison or Grealish.
Ooh,
I think I'm taking, and no bias because he left. I think I'm taking Maddison.
Oh, yeah. Grealish.
I think go on.
You take Grealish.
Yeah, I thought you was gonna say Grealish. Sorry.
No.
You were gonna say Grealish.
I think
I'll take Maddie. I'll take Maddie all day long.
I think his IQ's a lot better than Grealish.
Yeah. I think he's a lot more forward thinking.
Yeah, his passing, the way he is. Obviously, Grealish is more naturally talented, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like he's been doing it since a kid, so obviously it it's more of a given for him. Where Maddison, he's had to think about it a lot more in terms of what he's doing.
Yeah,
definitely.
Your striker, Delvin.
Striker, like I said, I've gone for more this season rather than if I'd gone for the whole calendar season. Obviously, it would have been Haaland, without a shadow of a doubt. But I think obviously, like in the last this season, Solanke's impressed me. Like he's come on a long stretch. Like he was more of a forgotten player. He's gone from where was he started at Liverpool? Or where was he before that?
Chelsea,
Liverpool, now to Bournemouth, and I think he's kind of found his feet finally. He's beginning to find his feet a lot finally. Not in the sort of like. I don't think he's in the levels of sort of like an Ollie Watkins and so forth, but he gives him something a bit different. Skillful, he's been scoring goals. His hold up play is great.
For the stats people out there, Dominic Solanke. I know we've got I think we've got a couple FOOTNOW viewer. Dominic Solanke, 1.96 progressive carries per game, 1.26 successful take-ons for a striker. That's kind of ridiculous. And he has 6 touches in the attacking penalty area every per 90. And this is a weird stat. He's in the 94th percentile for strikers with clearances. He has 1.4 clearances per game. No clue where that stat has come from. When you
He's probably more for corners than anything else, though, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
He's back a lot. Obviously, his height and his athleticism is useful for defending.
Yeah. Blocks as well. He has 0.9 blocks per game. But obviously, the main one that we all want to talk about is 12 goals, 1 assist in 19 games.
Yeah.
Dominic Solanke.
It's not bad for a Bournemouth striker, a mid-table striker. If you think about it.
Yeah. How long does this run of form go on for?
I don't know. I think he's finally finding his feet and where he needs to be and what he needs to do. Especially with Euros coming up, you want to do as much as you can just to get him, just to be a contender, don't you? Really?
Yeah. Does he go to the Euros?
No, not yet. No, I don't think. I think he's on the cusp. He's on the fringe.
Very, very quickly, if you had to pick 3 guys, 3 strikers you can take, because I think we've got a bigger squad. Start with you, Delvin.
Strikers, Kane, Watkins. I don't know who the third is. I'm struggling with the third. Callum Wilson hasn't been that great this season. It might have to be Solanke, but
okay. Solanke. I'm trying to think who else is there.
Who else is there English? Huh?
Tony. Tony.
Yeah, Tony. Yeah, Tony. It's got to be Tony.
Yeah, we just got to wait and see what he can do, don't we?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Last season, it had to be Tony basically. If it was like last season.
What about Calvin Lewin? Anyone shouting for him? There's 2 shouts for him last season. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. But
Calvin Lewin is what I like to call a concept player. If you don't actually watch him play, but someone tells you what he's good at, you'd think, oh, well, obviously he must score 30 goals a season then. Yeah. He's tall, fast, he can head the ball, he can strike the ball left foot, right foot. But then you watch him play and you go, that's why he doesn't score 30 goals a season.
Remember that season he had with Bamford where they were going head to head behind Kane and everyone was just like, oh my God, we finally, we found competition for Harry Kane.
COVID was a weird time for football, wasn't it?
It was, weren't it? It was training football, and then obviously the Shire footballers came out of their nest because there was no fans for them to sort of shy away from. So they just felt more cockier and they played a bit better. Rob Holding was an example of that as well.
And the other one, the centre mid that you guys had on loan from Real Madrid, Dani Ceballos.
Ceballos, Dani Ceballos. Do you know what? I quite liked him.
He was wicked.
Quite well Real
Madrid. He's a good player. He's a very good player. He's still at Real Madrid now. There's a reason for that. So,
They got so many midfielders, Madrid.
Yeah.
Papa Perez does not want to. Papa Perez. He just stacks up midfielders. All right, I think we'll leave it there for the team of the seasons, team of the years. Thank you, all guys for taking the time out of your days to think of 11 players that you think were team of the year. My girlfriend saw me doing this stuff, and I could see in her eyes she was like, "You guys are so weird, just making teams." But that's football. We'll very quickly go to the comments before we finish up.
Just quickly. Colton Palmer's missed 3 good chances, and Middlesbrough 1 up.
Yeah, do you know what? I've had one eye on it. It's half time. Yeah, Chelsea 4 corners, 3 shots on target.
I love to see it. I love to hear it. I love it.
Do you know what? They almost beat us. In at the weekends. We played Middlesbrough at the Riverside, and they. Do you know what I mean? They
gave it a tough game.
Where are they currently in the champion? Where are they now?
They're 12th, but
yeah,
they're only 4 points off of playoffs. It's very tight in the championship.
Championship's always tight. It's just a hard league to get out of, isn't it?
They almost did it last season, but they had Aaron Ramsey on loan, who was from us. They had Cameron Archer on loan, who was from us. They had
Chuba he was there
Chuba
last
Akpon.
season.
Yeah, he's gone to Ajax. They still got Hayden Hackney, who's a person that scored against Middlesbrough. He's a very good centre mid. I can see he goes, if he doesn't get promoted to Middlesbrough, I can see him going to the Premier League side.
I think Dale Fry. They got Dale Fry as well.
Yeah,
he's a good little. Yeah. He was part of the under-17s that won the World Cup with England. And he needs to push on. I feel like Premier League is coming soon for that boy because he is a good player.
Yeah, Josh Coburn as well, a striker. Doesn't score probably as many as he'd want to, but Josh Coburn kind of gives me Evan Ferguson vibes. Probably just a bit thinner, but very good striker. Yeah,
still waiting for Evan Ferguson to put kick on.
Yeah. Evan Ferguson's a strange one. Part of me, and this is me just being slightly cynical because I don't like Brighton, but a large part of me looks at Evan Ferguson and thinks, is he gonna kick on?
Yeah.
He'll go Man United for 100 million and flop.
Please, no, don't say that.
I'm praying.
We'll probably play about 150.
That's a Man United signing right there, though.
It is a Man United. It's a typical Man United signing. While we got the Glazers involved, it's a typical Man United signing.
100%.
And we'll end up selling him for like 20 million.
That's what we normally do. A newly promoted Hull City side or something.
Yeah. Or we go for free.
Or the new manager you keep signing every 2-3 seasons gives him a contract extension because they believe in him, trust him.
Back in the Net podcast. Thank you for the comments. He says I agree. It's only a matter of time until Rice gets the armband. I think it'd be perfect. I don't think Saliba. I would give it to Saliba first, just because he's been there a bit longer. But part of me is like, does Saliba want to be at Arsenal?
I don't think Saliba wants to be a captain. He's not that. He's more. You look at him and you know where Rice is more vocal in it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like Rice likes to play up for the cameras a little bit as well. He likes to be the main guy. I think he likes to be front page, and Saliba's not really.
And Raga.
He's from Kingston. He's from Kingston, just the wrong Kingston.
Yeah, exactly. But again, like Saliba, I think he'd be a good captain, but I don't think Saliba wants it. I don't think he's interested in it. But yeah, Rice is captain material for me, for England and Arsenal.
Zinchenko's twerking for that captaincy, by the way. Zinchenko,
Zinchenko, bro. Fuck Zinchenko.
He's the most dislikable football player.
He is, isn't he? I was thinking that exact same thing.
Up there with Bruno, man. He's up there like hate level.
Unbearable.
I don't know why we're giving Bruno that armband. To be fair, we haven't even got anyone to give the armband to. I just give it to a fan if I was.
Just give it to
Ten Hag. Be like your manager.
A new fan every week.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
just a quick idea. I'm thinking if you can, just it's up to you, obviously, clearly. But you see, obviously, the graphics you made with all of our teams. Why not post that on your socials and maybe get people to vote which one they agree with or whatever.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Browne. Yeah, guys, you heard Mr. Browne. Got to post these to the Instagram. Comment on the Instagram, even comment below which team you think is the best. If this team was in a Champions League group stage, what 2 teams would finish top? What team would go to Europa League, and what team would be?
That's interesting.
Mine would probably finish bottom, but
I mean, Alfie Doughty left back. There'd probably be a tactical weak point, but hey, as I says, Dom Solanke been good this year, but isn't meant to be for the whole of last year.
I kind of got the memo wrong. Sorry, Azza.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, mate.
It is what it is. And then Back of the Net podcast, I think this was on your team, Mr. Browne. He would change Allison to Vicario and maybe even McGinn for Louise. I did a draft team. I'll be honest, I did a draft team. And my midfield three was Boubacar Kamara, John McGinn, and Douglas Louise. And then I was like to myself, okay, you're being a bit too biased here.
Yeah.
McGinn's impressed me as well, to be fair.
McGinn is.
Who would make the bench? Who would be 5 players you'll put on the bench?
Yeah, go on. Let's all choose a player each, and then we can have a combined bench. I'm gonna go for John McGinn. Go on, Oz.
What for the bench? You want for the team?
Yeah, you get to choose one player for the bench.
Who would I go with? That's a good question, actually.
Okay, that isn't already in the team. Any of our teams.
Any of our teams, yeah.
I'll go Robert, and so not in your team. Sorry.
Yeah, it can't be in any of our teams.
I was going to say Anthony Robertson. What a player. I think I'll go with Bern Leno, backup keeper. I'll go Bern Leno. I think underrated, very underrated. I feel like Arsenal have let go so many good goalkeepers.
Do you know what?
And Martinez are definitely up there.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Arsenal have a crazy.
To me, I think Arsenal have been cursed with goalkeepers since David Seaman. Like they haven't had that great, and now they've got 2 good ones. They haven't been great at Arsenal.
Average. Arteta's fault, man. Fuck Arteta. He's such a prick, mate.
Arteta has got as many titles as Eric Ten Hag. That's what I say.
How long have you held on that? How you held on to that one for a minute? I know you've had that one ready.
Trust me. There's gonna be an Mikel Arteta intervention very soon. We'll save the stats for that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sick for that one.
But yeah, I think Mr. Browne, Delvin, did you say your bench players?
My bench player.
I'm gonna go for Martinelli. Sorry,
Martinelli. Paulinho of Fulham.
Yeah, good shout.
Paulinho. Yeah. I chose him as Liverpool's player to sign. A player that Liverpool should sign. I think if Liverpool signed Paulinho,
I did see that. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, good.
I think they walked to the title because Endo is good, but obviously he's not here at the moment. And I think Paulinho is just probably he's the best CDM that you can get that's on the market right now. Bayern had agreed a deal for 65 mil.
Yeah,
it got rejected in contract extension.
Yeah,
by him.
So probably a release clause in there for maybe 60 mil.
Maybe.
Liverpool. Hey, I know. Jurgen Klopp, I know you're watching this. Probably
he's taking notes.
Yeah, I know he's taking notes. Jurgen Klopp follows Foot now. We all know that. But yeah. Okay, cool. So that was our teams. Again, thank you guys for joining. Gone slightly over, but obviously it's the first stream on the Foot Now YouTube channel. For anyone that is new here, which is literally all of you because we have never streamed before, please like, comment, subscribe. We're going to need all the help that we can get. Foot Now, we've only just started. We've been on Instagram for about a month now, but we're going to be starting up some YouTube channels. I just wanted to drop this video here just to kind of give you guys a sense of the content that we're planning to do. You're going to see a lot more of me and Osman throughout this year. And hopefully Delvin and Mr. Browne from the Eat, Drink and Talk Football podcast. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Osman, from the Clique45 podcast. I'll link all like the YouTubes and stuff down below. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. We've been Foot Now. They've been Eat, Drink and Talk Football. He's been Clique45. See you later.
Pleasure, man.